News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM. This is KFYO Mornings with Dave King and Matt Martin, and it is 7:35 AM, and this is a Thursday. So let's see, what in the world would that mean? It means that the Car Pro is on line one. Good morning, Jerry Reynolds.
Well, good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Well, we're doing pretty darn good. We didn't no one sent us a bomb that I know of, so I guess we're doing good. How about you?
No, I haven't checked the mail yet today, but
Let somebody else check it.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I've been driving around this week, guys, in a really cool car. I got to tell you, when you drive 100 cars a year or so, you know, there's sometimes that you just sort of get into a little bit of a rut. Nothing excites you anymore, and then all of a sudden a car will come along that you didn't expect was going to be anything special, and suddenly, as soon as you get behind the wheel, you find out it is. I've got the 2018 Genesis G80 Sport, and some people aren't familiar with Genesis. Genesis is a spinoff from Hyundai. This is their luxury line. They've only got 3 vehicles in it right now. There's one bigger than the one I'm driving, and there's one smaller than the one I'm driving. This one falls right between the middle. But it's a good-sized car. It's a large car. You know, it's not a super big Lexus LS size, but, you know, it's still a full-size car with a really huge back seat. But I think the things that I love about it are the engine. It's got a 3.3-liter twin-turbo 6-cylinder that's got 365 horses. It's got some really great wheels. The interior's fantastic. It's got everything in the world you can put on it. And yet there's not a single option on this car. Everything that this car has comes as standard equipment. And I think probably the thing I love the most is the price. This thing's got a window sticker price of $56,000, which is honestly $20,000 less than anything comparable out there to it. And it's just so quiet inside. Hyundai really knocked it out of the park with this one. They've just got to figure out a way to get the word out about Genesis. Their sales have not been good this year, and that's their fault. That's Hyundai's fault. They haven't advertised this car. They don't have their dealer network put together. But just like all the Hyundais, this car comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and even better, for the first 3 years, they will come get the car if it needs service or just routine maintenance, bring you a loaner, and then bring the car back to you all cleaned up and ready to go. And that's a fantastic service, especially if you don't have a dealer close to you.
So Hyundai has been kind of interesting to me. They have a pretty good reputation overall, don't they?
They do. They do now. You couldn't always say that.
Yeah.
But, you know, when they started the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, that told everybody. And it was, I'll be honest, it's more of a marketing thing than it is, realistic, something that somebody's going to use, because their cars are so good now, they never have any problems at up to 100,000 miles. I mean, it covers, just the powertrain. So it was a brilliant marketing tool. But I think that's when it all turned around, when they started that and said to America, hey, we've got confidence in these cars, give us a try. And a lot of people have, and they've been very successful.
Yeah, and Hyundai's kind of known for the more for less kind of car. You get a lot more for less money. They're less expensive than some of the other ones with some of the same features.
Yeah, that's absolutely. If you look at the Sonata, look at their entire lineup of SUVs, which is really hot right now. But even this car right here, as I say, this car in a Mercedes or a Lexus is $20,000 more money. And I tell you what, this car is just fun to drive. I mean, it's got a lot of power. And neat features. It's got auto hold, which is one of my favorite features that's relatively new on cars these days. When you engage it and you pull up to a red light, you can take your foot off the brake. That doesn't sound like a big deal. But when you get used to using it and then you don't have it, it really is, because you don't realize how tired your foot gets, sitting with it pushed against the brake through a long red light cycle. And then as soon as you hit the gas pedal, it releases. and it's just all automatic. I mean, stuff like that. It's top notch.
So this car does look kind of large. How does it do well with those? What was it, 300 and whatever horsepower?
335.
Yeah, 300. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It will, when those twin turbos kick in, you feel it. I mean, it will put you against the seat. The acceleration that's one of the things I talked about when I was working on the video with this car yesterday was acceleration. It's strong and steady, and if the car will get over 30 miles to the gallon on the highway if you drive it right. You kind of got to hold it to 70. That's cruise control to get that kind of mileage. But this is a 4,500-pound car. This car is very heavy, and I think that's one of the reasons it rides and drives so well, and that it's so quiet inside.
So now, I think in the past, twin turbos, a lot of times the one comes on early and one comes on late. Is that the way they have this set up?
No, they come on simultaneously,
Okay.
and it's sort of like the Ford system with the EcoBoost. They're either on or they're off. When you stick your foot in it, they both kick on, and I think that's why the acceleration feels so good with this car versus what you're talking about there, the sequential type. Yeah. It'll get up and go, and it's got a sport setting on it, and that changes how the transmission shifts. It tightens up the steering, it tightens up the suspension. And it's one of the few cars. A lot of cars have different settings: sport, eco, normal, etc. This car, you can tell a marked difference when you go to sport mode.
So I'm looking on CarProUSA.com, and I'll tell you, I used to have a '68 Dodge Coronet 440. It was my first car. I paid $100 for it, and it was a four-door. I missed the car though, but it got egged. And I didn't clean it off fast enough. And you've got something on here about getting egged.
Yeah, I do. This is an article I put up every year right before Halloween. Because if your car's going to get egged, it's probably going to be next Wednesday night. And I talk about how you've got to look for it. You've got to get that stuff off there quickly. Mm-hmm. But yet you've got to be careful. If you start wiping on the eggshell residue that's left on the car, and it always is. If you start wiping on that, you're going to do a lot more damage because it's going to scratch right through that paint.
Well, and I'll tell you, I didn't clean mine off fast enough, and the egg ate through the paint, and there were literally egg spots on there.
Yeah, it'll do that. That's why you've got to get out and look at your car first thing Thursday morning to see, did that happen? It doesn't seem to be happening as much in the past decade or so as it used to. But still, if it does happen to you, you want to get on it and save yourself a whole lot of money with a complete repaint of a car. So you had to have yours fixed, I assume.
No, it was an old car, and we just kind of let it go. So
we had a lot of coverage this week, guys. I know you're getting short on time. We had a lot of coverage this week from the Texas Auto Riders Texas Truck Rodeo that happens every year. So we've got a lot of articles up at CarProUSA.com talking about that. Ram won the Truck of Texas, which is kind of big bragging rights. And this week, the Ford Ranger started rolling off the assembly line. So we'll see those sometime in the next 6 weeks.
Well, I know a lot of people who are looking forward to that.
Me too.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jerry. We want to remind people that CarProUSA.com is your website, as well as you are on between 11 and 1 every Saturday right here on 95.1 FM and 790 AM.
I am, and I'll see you guys this Saturday.
All right. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.